My name is Andre Laton Zipatosh.
My name is Maria Horst Linklater.
My name's Lyndon J. Linklater. I like to put the J in there because I found out there's 5 Lyndon Linklaters in Saskatchewan.
I come from Batosh. Story about my family is that my mushum, my cookum, fought in the Battle of 1885, and as Métis, as Michif. It was never referred to as a rebellion. It was referred to as la guerre, Battle of Batoche. I always correct society in that.
And my grandparents were Mary Angus and Joe Angus, and my parents were Minnie Angus Horse and George Horse.
I'm a Anishinaabe and Treaty 3 Couchiching First Nation. And on my mother's side, we come from Treaty 6 territory. In English, they call us the Cree. And we are Plains Cree. And in our language, we call ourselves Nehiawak peoples, or Nehio is singular, and Nehiawak is plural. And we come from Thunderchild First Nation. So I have 2 bloodlines, of my ancestors, the Anishinaabe and the Nehiawak peoples.
Grandfather, my mushum and my cookum fought in that battle, and as well as 2 of his brothers. One was Andre and the other one was Jacques. And I was named after Andre. He sacrificed his life for what myself and my children and my grandchildren have been blessed with today. This opportunity to speak the truth about Limichif and to welcome newcomers coming to our traditional lands. Kitaska now, we say, in our motherland. Gabriel Dumont Institute, that'd be the place to go. I was walking around here and they've got a lot of the little blurbs about the history of the Métis along with First Nations here from this land, this territory. This is a good place. Want to scale it, But I think that the most valuable one is to sit with an old person, with a Katiak, or in English they say elder, right? That's the most valuable one.
I'm a residential school survivor, but I would like to say a residential school warrior woman. And my late husband was also residential school. So, and my grandmother was also residential school. My father was in a residential school, and my father also went to the Second World War. So there's a lot that happened in my family.
Historically, right from day one, our ancestors always welcomed them, the newcomers. Unfortunately, that respect was violated, and we've gone through a history that is very similar around the world.
My father was a Second World War veteran, but he also lived that lifestyle before he went to the war. His parents were educated the Nehiaw way, and they weren't brainwashed with religion. They had their own spirituality, that they lived good lives. I would say to do things together, and also to educate, one another about where we come from, and educate and prevention to prevent from them happening. If we're educating them, we're doing good things in life, sharing our knowledge with them. We're not going to be fighting and being ugly and things like that, but there's some that they're raised like that. They're raised to be prejudiced. They're raised like that, and those ones, I think they're too far gone. Those are the ones you would have to kill with kindness, Other than that, be nice to them, but don't be like them. We should have a function twice a month.
In Saskatoon, I do quite a bit of work with Open Door. These agencies, like I mentioned, there's People's Bridge Advocacy, and what they do is they have programs that they coordinate, that they host, and they bring in like Indigenous people.
I would say like the employers should have something going, and the parents at home should have something going all over the place. The church should be talking about it. Everybody should talk about it and then bring it out, and then they'll see if there is a problem and get somebody that's been racist on to come and talk how they feel.
You know, newcomers, I don't like that term. We have to come up with a better term, more respectful term. You know, friend, relation. See, in our way, that's what they are. Every one of us in this room, we are relations. Relation to the earth, to the sky, to the spiritual beings that we don't see but we experience. Every Indigenous culture has that. Let us be who we are. Do not allow anybody to impose on you your identity. And if you come to me as an Indigenous person, you're going to be my relation.
Like as a newcomer and you really want to learn about Indigenous people, then what I would suggest is they come to our ceremonies. And we have so many ceremonies. A powwow is an example of a ceremony, but we also have other ceremonies like round dances. And then on special days in our province, like it's called Orange Shirt Day, which is September 30th. On June 21st, it's National Indigenous Peoples Day. And there's events going on. There's always events going on. Somewhere there'll be an event. Go there. And you're gonna meet some Indigenous people. And that's the best way to have a better understanding. Try not to be afraid, you know, to want to meet an Indigenous person. And that's the thing they gotta understand. When we talk about Indigenous people, yeah, we're very diverse. We might look the same, but we're not. We speak different languages.
I've worked in systems all my life, basically. And prisons, education, social services, and health. And those systems are very Eurocentric paradigms. Once they start hearing a different way, they get interested. That's the nature of human beings. But if you can't scold them. Just like we should not scold our children. We were taught not to scold our children because you weaken their spirit, and it's the spirit that is inquisitive. So I would share the same with leaders, you know, in the systems, you know. But as parents and as leaders, as Gitayak, we give opportunities for others to teach themselves. Sometimes we share stories, so that's what this is all about. I'm not teaching anybody. I'm simply sharing my story, and it's up to that individual on whether they are ready and willing and want to teach themselves. Like I work in health, and I work with a lot of leaders in health, and that's what I tell them. It begins with you. You want to know how to reconcile? You want to know how to address the calls to actions in health? It all starts with yourself. You got to change the way that you think. You got to understand health in our way, in Indigenous ways, because that's worldwide. It's not just ours.